alaikum and welcome back to my channel. My name is Layla and today I'm going to be walking you through my January TBR. So I just came in by the scrape of my teeth for my Goodreads goal for this year. So I'm hoping to start off January a little strong like I did last year. But that being said, I think I have about 7 books on my TBR, maybe a little bit less than that. Just to kind of ease myself into it. I hope to finish all of these during January, but I'm not going to be terribly upset if I don't. So I'm just going to start off with the books that I don't currently have in my possession because they are being released in January. So the first one is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, and I hope to get that relatively soon since it does come out this week. So hoping to get that and finish it really quickly. I finished the 3 books in that series really quick, so I'm hoping that this one does the same. I am going to a virtual signing on the 4th just to be able to hear her talk about it, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up is none other than Mysteries of Thorn Manor by Margaret Rogerson. This comes out a little bit later in the month. I do hope to get to it this month as soon as it comes out. I'm so excited to get back into this world. Silas is one of my favorite characters, so knowing that he's going to be in this story as well makes me really excited to read it. I know nothing else because I don't want to know, other than that it's placed in that world, same world as Sorcery of Thorns if you haven't read it. So I can't wait to get my hands on that one either. So my next 2 books are 2 fairly recent romance releases, paranormal romance releases. To nobody's shock, I'm going to be picking up Christine Feehan's Leopard's Scar. I meant to get to this in December, but unfortunately I really just didn't have any time. So by the end of the year, I was scrambling to pick up something a little bit smaller than this. Even though I can knock this out in a day or a day and a half, depending on how late I start reading, I still was trying to get through as many books as possible to get to my Goodreads goal, so I didn't pick up something super huge. I can't wait to read this though. This is my favorite series by her, if you haven't heard me say that a million times already. So I'm looking forward to this one. So we'll see how this one goes. The other one came out in December that one came out in November, but this one came out in December. Queen of Myth and Monsters by Scarlett St. Clair. I have read the first book in this series, King of Battle and Blood, and I loved it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how well it continues. I also have read the beginning of her other series, but I like this one more. Just because I like the vampire vibes. So I'm looking forward to picking this up and hopefully getting a review up on my blog at the end of the month. So one of my reading goals, which I'll talk about later this month, is to actually pick up more of my history books, because if I don't put them on my TBR, I look at them longingly and then never touch them. So my goal is to read 12 this year, so 1 a month, and I did pick out the shorter ones because I generally have a fairly thick TBR throughout each month. So I tried to pick out thinner ones, or the ones that I would definitely read or read quickly. So the first one for January is The Women Who Would Be King, Hatshepsut's Rise to Power in Ancient Egypt. This is by Kara Cooney. I studied history, obviously, when I was an undergrad, so I love reading about it. So I'm looking forward to picking this up. Especially Egyptian history is always kind of fun to study, especially women who rule. This is a bit of a spoiler for a video you'll see later this month as well, but this is the first one going on the TBR. And another goal of mine is always to read 12 books that I already own, at least. So I usually start the year with a list of those 12 books. Almost always, I have never actually completed that list. I did get about halfway last year, so small spoiler for how I handled my reading challenge for myself last year. But I am looking forward to trying and getting to that list this year. So I made a new one. There are a couple of books that came back from previous books that I wanted to read, especially because I wanted to read them and then I never put them on any TBR, so I never actually picked them up, which is really depressing. But anyway, so this time for January, I'm actually starting with a book that has not made it onto one of those TBRs before, and that's Hollow Fires by Samira Ahmed. I picked this up during the National Book Festival and when I actually talked to her and met her, so I am looking forward to getting to read this. I'm very intrigued by the plot and I can't wait to actually sit down and, you know, get through it and enjoy it as much as I know I'm going to. I'm looking forward to seeing what she does with this, so we'll see how it goes. That's my TBR. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it somewhat low-key, even though a lot of the books are pretty big. But I do hope to get started on my Goodreads goal fairly early in January, so I'm looking forward to starting reading today, which, Happy New Year. Today is January 1st. So inshallah, I can get to all of my reading goals, and you can as well. I hope you have a great 2023, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!